In this episode, we make a mad dash through Portugal, Spain and France to get back to the UK, just in case John does actually need a hospital. Welcome to the long free ride.
As you may be able to hear from my voice, my condition isn't really improving fantastically quickly. So we've decided that it won't be fun trying to traipse around Porto and Salamanca and some of the other places that we had hoped to bring you on this tour. And we're going to just head straight back to the UK. I can then find out if the antibiotics I've got are suitable for the type of chest infection I've got. And also, if things go downhill, we don't end up with me in a hospital somewhere in Europe and all of the grief and problems that can cause you. So we'll document our route back and let you know if anything fun happens on the way.
Indeed. So, tinged with sadness really, this end to the trip, but we've had a great couple of days with Susie.
We have had a great couple of days with Susie, and hopefully you enjoyed that video.
Yeah, indeed.
But yeah, I can function for around half a day if I'm not doing anything too strenuous. But literally give me one cobbled hill to walk up, and there are plenty of those in Porto, and that's it. I'm a sweating, gasping wreck. So.
And that's just not enjoyable for you.
No. And you know what it's like when you want to get home to your own bed, and that's me at the moment.
So I'll get in there as quickly as I can.
Well, not at the moment you won't, otherwise we'll run out of charge before we get to the next charger.
Okay, within reason.
Within reason, yeah. Just to be clear on this.
Yes, there is a little bit of range anxiety today.
No range anxiety, just got to be within the limits.
Yes. Slow and steady wins the race, apparently.
Having said our goodbyes to Susie and Monsanto, we started our long drive home. With most of the morning already gone, our plan was to grab a lunchtime charge at Guarda in Portugal and then cross into Spain before spending the night near the French border. Then we planned to complete the journey through France and back to the UK in 2 days. The planning software thought the distance was 1,230 miles, and that we would need to spend 7.25 hours charging. I expected the mileage to be correct, but hoped we might shave some of the charging time off by driving more efficiently. You have to wait and see how the stats worked out.
Our final charging stop in Portugal was at Guarda, where I had a really weird pig's ear salad for lunch. Soon we crossed the border into Spain and stopped once more en route to charge. We ended our day at the Hotel Ruta de Europa in Vitoria-Gasteiz, Spain. It's literally on the roadside of the N1 and seems to be a truck stop with a very large outdoor seating area and big screens for sporting events.
Our crossing into France was slightly eventful. I was hoping to get some good footage of the mountains as the motorway crossed the Pyrenees, but the weather was foul and so the driving was difficult and the traffic was heavy. As such, it was much better to act as Michelle's wingman and not muck about with a camera. Fortunately, as we left the mountains behind, the weather improved and we made steady progress. With both France and Spain having plenty of Tesla superchargers, there were always plenty of stalls, and the sites were often on the motorway or only a short distance from it. As such, we made good progress on our route home.
Driving through France took hours and hours and hours, and we charged the car 3 times before we even got back to the tunnel. Sadly, we even forgot to get any footage of some of these charging stops, but they were at Le Mans, Bordeaux and the Baie de Somme. Eventually we arrived back at Le Shuttle in Calais and managed to get on an earlier train. At this point we really weren't filming much, as we were both exhausted and just wanted to spirit ourselves home.
So let's take a look at the stats for this episode. We drove 1,232 miles, which is 1,983 kilometres.
We put in a whopping 504 kilowatts over 10 charges. This is just under a third of the entire trip. This meant we were stationary for 6 hours and 2 minutes. And trust me, it felt like a very long time.
We managed to use Tesla chargers all the way back, so as you know, we don't get charged for those. But if we had needed to pay, it would have cost us £175.38. And there were no other ancillary costs for the car.
Now let's add that to the grand total for the trip so far. We hope the long free ride is demonstrating that you can do long road trips in an electric vehicle. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel to help us bring this message to a wider audience. Next time on the long free ride, we'll wrap up our 2024 tour and discuss our future plans.